Football transfers are one of the most entertaining parts of being a football fan. A chance for clubs to recruit and strengthen their squads over the winter and summer periods, and also a chance for players to get better opportunities at other clubs. A process that for the average football fan brings feelings of anticipation and excitement when your club is rumoured to be signing a star player, and also feelings of disappointment when you miss out on a big signing or when one of your favourite players are sold to another club. All of these emotions make the transfer window what it is. However, a lot of reaction online suggests just one man is ruining the excitement and anticipation of transfers: Fabrizio Romano, a man who I'm sure you're all aware of. And if you are a football fan, I mean, you don't even have to be a football fan at this point. Even if you have Twitter, you'll know who this guy is. And for those who are unsure about Fabrizio Romano, he's an Italian journalist who started his career at the age of 16, writing articles for football websites and having his professional breakthrough in 2000. And this is where everything began for Fabrizio Romano, joining Sky in 2012, where he began establishing his empire of football contacts, with connections to clubs, agents and other intermediaries all throughout Europe, reporting on worldwide transfers 24/7, allegedly working 20 hours a day during the peak transfer season, amassing over 20 million followers on Instagram and Twitter, as well as creating the Here We Go podcast, where he talks about the latest transfer rumours, often deemed to be the king of football transfers and the go-to guy for football news, and is probably the most popular and probably the most trusted journalist in world football, amassing a platform so big that he's become more reliable than Premier League clubs. Yes, you heard me correctly, as during the 2022 transfer window, rumours were flying about that Cucurella was to be moving from Brighton to Chelsea, with Fabrizio announcing that Chelsea had agreed a deal to sign Cucurella and Brighton would be selling the Spaniard, in which the Brighton Twitter admin responded saying Fabrizio is wrong and these are only rumours, only for Cucurella to be announced at Chelsea 2 days later. So yeah, that's the kind of reputation this guy has. Now of course, on the surface this just seems like a normal guy doing what he does best, reporting transfers, but over the past few seasons and also very recently as well, many football fans have become frustrated with Fabrizio, claiming that he is ruining transfers by announcing big transfers months before it is even announced by the actual clubs involved. Probably the most famous example of this right now is the Kylian Mbappe move to Real Madrid from PSG, where Fabrizio essentially announced the completion of this transfer literally weeks, if not months, before Real Madrid officially announced this and Mbappe officially announced he was leaving. And of course, this isn't any old transfer we're talking about. This is Kylian Mbappe, who is probably the best player on the planet right now. And I cannot tell you the amount of tweets I've seen from football fans all across the world saying how Fabrizio is ruining transfers like this Mbappe transfer by announcing it months before it's even to be properly announced, with many people saying it's taken the excitement out of football transfers. And people often refer to Ronaldo's transfer to Real Madrid in 2009, which is a very similar situation to this Mbappe one, where arguably the best player on the planet takes a big money move to get to the next stage in their career. The next stage being Real Madrid, which is probably the best and most prestigious club out there, and the best club you can move to career-wise. And obviously when Cristiano Ronaldo made his move to Real Madrid, this was completely new to many football fans around the world and was quite a shock to the entire footballing world. And it had that surprise element where no one was expecting the best player in the world to go all the way to Spain to play for Real Madrid for 90 million. Whereas with this Mbappe situation, I remember this being announced months ago, before Mbappe officially put out a statement. And many people on Twitter have started to get angry as a result of this, saying it's taken the surprise element out of it. And it's not necessarily just the transfer news that people are getting annoyed about, it's also the Ballon d'Or as well. The award that essentially crowns players as being the best player in the world for that individual season. An award that in the past also had that surprise element to it, where many fans would be guessing who would be winning the Ballon d'Or and what the Ballon d'Or rankings would be until it would be officially announced on the night of the awards. Well, not anymore, as again we know this year Lionel Messi won the Ballon d'Or over Erling Haaland, and instead of the footballing world finding out about it on the actual day of the award, we again found out literally a month before it was to be announced. And again, this sent the people of Twitter into a spiral, claiming Fabrizio is ruining the excitement of football by announcing everything 4 weeks before it is to be officially announced, and also tweeting about the same transfer again and again and again for weeks on end. And I can slightly understand where these guys are coming from. I remember deadline day was a massive and really exciting time for football and football fans in general, because it's where all these last minute deals would be pulled through and all these players would be signed right at the deadline, and the players would be announced on Sky Sports right before the window is to be closed, which obviously gave fans a lot of excitement and a lot of things to look forward to. Probably the most famous one I remember is Ozil being a massive one, where he was announced right at the deadline for Arsenal from Real Madrid. And that gave a lot of football fans, including Arsenal fans obviously, a lot of excitement. But now in the modern era, you don't really get that anymore. Even if a deal is announced right at the very last minute by the official clubs, because most of us already know about that transfer weeks, maybe even months in advance. But honestly, in my own personal opinion, I don't see it as much of an issue. I have a lot of friends that seem to be annoyed by Fabrizio's tweets and how he's taken that excitement out of transfers and the last minute deal, deadlines, whatever you want to call it, and rinsing and repeating the same tweets about the same transfers again and again and again. But me personally, I don't have an issue with it. And I don't really get why people do have an issue with it. I get that maybe that excitement isn't really there anymore and there's no more sort of last minute transfers, but that's just part of the game. That's just how things are nowadays in football. There's so much information available to everyone that we know about everything months in advance. And to be honest, maybe that's a good thing. And at the end of the day, this guy is just literally just someone doing his job and making good money from it, so you can't really blame him. What do you guys think of Fabrizio? Let me know in the comments, and if you have enjoyed, please be sure to like and subscribe because it always helps. And thanks for watching. This has been Discussing Ball.